Alright, lessons learned from last week. I need to shorten the videos. 18 minutes is way too long. And that's the biggest thing. Updates, thoughts from this week. I am trying to focus on what I need to do in life and what are the important things. I have a huge task list of over 1,000 tasks, maybe not 1,000, but I think it's 800 tasks. So I'm using the Eisenhower matrix on here. So we need to eliminate, delegate, schedule, and do now. So what are the most important? Use different metrics and variables to figure out what I can do, so I can kind of focus and get more things done by doing less, actually, which is interesting. And so far this week, another successful concert pictures, and I've been reading a lot and watching a couple movies that a lot of, since we're in October, a lot of it centers around death, and there's a fear of death, and death really isn't something you should be afraid of, because it's gonna happen. Just plan for it to happen, because that's the only guarantee in life. So yeah, it's coming. And continuing on with the week. Alright, then I finished my work week, basically. I mean, I have one more day, but work week is basically over. The biggest takeaway from this work week is I switched my workouts to the morning, because I want to have more focused, more time to focus on getting things done after work. So the 5 to 9 people talk about, what do you do? You're 9 to 5, then you're 5 to 9, which is this. And I want more time to focus, as opposed to have an hour of working out, another hour to eat and shower. I'm like, what if I just not really focus on eating, and that's just happening in the background. Oh, dinner's done, let me scavenge that, just eat it real quick, and then go back to what I'm doing, and then wait until right before bed to take a shower, because it's no longer super oppressively hot in Florida, which is nice. So been doing that, been able to get a little more focused so I can get more creative things done. I think I just got a notification on the watch where it's now raining. It's like, oh, usually you would, it's going to rain in 2 hours. This is like, oh, it's already started raining. Like, no, you need there's no point for the weather apps in Florida. In Philadelphia, it's like, oh, it's going to rain in an hour and a half. Here, it's like, oh, it started raining 15 minutes ago. I'm like, well, we already know that. Anywho's, am I focused? What is that? And lastly, so I decided to try to simplify everything that I've learned, because there is this whole bookshelf plus a second bookshelf in my other room there. What I've learned the last basically 2 years of learning social media and music and entertainment industry. Like, oh, I gotta actually apply it. So one thing is just simplify it, and I narrowed it down to the top 4 people that I'm going to try to combine their approaches to life, their main teachings. And who are those 4 main people? Best overall sports athlete that turned also mentor. Long thoughts, so this could be up for debate in the comments. I'm going to go with Kobe Bryant. He and Michael Jordan are the top 2. Michael may slightly edge out in the basketball realm, because 90s defense was a lot harder than 2000s defense, even though 2000s harder, but both, I mean, very close. I'm going to Michael slight edge, but then the overall, what Kobe did with his retirement, which was only, unfortunately, 3.5 years, he started going to mentorship and had it teaching his way of his process. Michael really didn't do that. So I'm going to use Kobe Bryant. One of the hardest working musicians of all time is Prince. So using Prince's methodology and strategy for entertainment. Creativity. I'm gonna go with Rick Rubin here. I was thinking about Kurt Cobain a little bit too, but knowing his process, he used a lot of inebriants. I probably shouldn't go with Kurt Cobain with that, but he has a good creative mind, just minus the inebriants. And then lastly, Steve Jobs with creativity, and he knew how to, him and Kobe, Steve Jobs and Kobe knew how to channel the emotion of anger, which I've been suppressing the past few years. So in society, anger is not really accepted anymore. It used to be back in the day with cavemen that it was used for survival. You don't really need anger anymore, but the way that Steve Jobs used it and Kobe used it for getting farther in life. So use those: Kobe, Prince, Rick Rubin, Steve Jobs, and try to have those influences are the main ones. There's still other good ones like Dave Grohl is a good one. Viktor Frankl. Anne Frank was very much a surprise to that, her process, for her creativity process and just her life story in general. A whole bunch of other ones. Taylor Swift was a right up there, like a honorable mention. So I learned a lot. In here mentions a lot of Taylor Swift's process. So, but yeah, cool. We're doing that. And keeping up this vlog one day at a time. I posted a couple shorts of me DJing, so doing that, getting the variety of different content pillars. So keep it going, keeping up the system. All right, see you next week.